Hello brothers and sisters, I want to talk to you about this game, Mythic Battles Pantheon. So it appeared on Kickstarter in 2016. It finally got out on December last year. I was one of the backers, and when I finally got this game, I really was not disappointed. You see, the reason why I backed this game was that I like games. I really love the Greek myth, and my absolute passion are miniatures. These miniatures, oops, it is falling over. So the reason why I want to talk about it is that there is a reprint coming out this year, well, next week actually, on June 5th, and I really want to talk a bit about this game because I would love it to spread to more people, because not only the miniatures are amazing, the game is very good, and the art and everything surrounding this game is just amazing. And to top this off, next year Monolith, which is now the maker of the game, previously it was Monolith and Mythic Games, the guys from France. Now it's just Monolith, and they will be publishing a new game based on the same game system, just a different mythology. It's going to be called Mythic Battles Ragnarok. It will come to the Kickstarter next year, and as the name suggests, it will be all about the Norse mythology. So I'm super stoked about that. But for now, let's talk about the Mythic Battles Pantheon. So initially I had a little bit, I was a little bit reserved about how the quality of the minis would be, because they are cast in plastic, and you see, I'm a Warhammer player, so I had a lot of experience with building and painting Games Workshop stuff, which are usually done in the polystyrene, or the polystyrene plastic, which is a different kind from the type of plastic that you usually find in other miniature games, or metal or resin. But I was amazed, I was completely surprised when these when I finally got the box and I was able to check out the minis. The detail is amazing. Like, it is not on the level with the resin cast, but it is still super good. There is one slightly annoying feature of this, and that is that the mold lines are very difficult to clean, at least for me. For some reason it's hard for me to work with this kind of plastic to clear the mold lines. Possibly the other reason for that is that the minis come in assembled. You don't need to do anything. You just pick them out of the box, they are already on their bases, and you can immediately start playing. Of course, every miniature lover should first paint their miniatures. You see, I haven't painted everything yet, but it's a work in progress. So what you see here are the contents of the base box, which is this one. In addition to that, every backer of the original Kickstarter got another box, which is called Pandora's box, which contains all of the stretch goals, and boy, are there some miniatures there. It's I think a triple number or quadruple number of the actual contents of the game. It was mind-blowing, and the value you got on these, yeah, it was amazing. So when I originally backed this game, I only did the basic pledge for the base game and for and for the stretch goals, and I bought a couple of add-ons on top of it, like there are some other expansions, and I got the Polo Parente special guest box, and I think Manticore. But when I saw and when I actually played the game, I fell in love with it. So I went on eBay and I bought the whole thing, everything that you could get for Mythic Battles. I now have it. I haven't played with all of that. I usually play with just the base box because I'm always teaching new people how to play. The cool thing about that is that the game is super easy to teach. The rules you can master in, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes. When you explain that to 3 people in 3 minutes, in 20 minutes, they are on top of it, and you can start playing, and everyone has a great time. But there is really depth to this game, almost like chess, except it is, less boring than chess, and it has this cinematic attribute to it. So I will now go over I will not explain the rules of the game. You can find other videos doing that, but I will go over the individual minis here, and I will show them to you, and I will talk a little bit about what they do, how they play, and so on. Okay, so I said that I won't be talking about the rules of the game, but I will give you just a quick overview, just to give you an idea how the game is actually played, and give you some background for when we will go over the individual units. So it is played on a board like this one. This one in particular is called the River Styx. The board is divided into areas, delimited by these wide borders, as you can see there, and then there is a number with some kind of a symbol on each area. The number indicates how many units can be in a certain area, and the symbol indicates the type of the area. So certain areas give you bonuses, like for example forest, which we do not have here, but will give you a bonus against ranged attacks. And ruins, for example, so this is a symbol for ruin, will give you bonus to melee defense. The game starts with a draft. Each player will select a god. In this case, we have 2 forces here. One is led by Zeus, the other one is led by Athena. And each unit has an associated point cost, and each scenario limits you to certain point cost. In this case, we have 14 point forces here. So let's go over this one. Zeus, 6 points. Zeus is a god, right? You need exactly 1 god in your force. Then Medusa, this is a monster. Perhaps I should have mentioned that there are different classes of units here. Gods, or they are called deities. Then monsters, then heroes, and then troops. Okay, so Zeus 6 points, Medusa 3 points, that is 9. Leonidas, hero, that's another 3 points, so that is 12. And then each troop costs just a single point. So this is one troop, Spartans, the other troop, Hell Warriors. So this is how you construct your army. And the objective of the game is to collect 4 of these things, which are called omphalos. They are spread around the board. Or the alternative way to victory is to kill the opposing god. So the game goes as a series of turns for each player. You will alternate with your opponent. In your turn, you can activate up to 2 units. In addition to your units, you will have a deck of cards which will be constructed based on your force. And the deck will consist of activation cards. So this is an activation card for Athena. The 4 stars here at the bottom tell you that you will have 4 activation cards for Athena in your deck, which is an important information. And you will also have these Art of War cards in your deck. Art of War cards allow you to do certain special maneuvers, like searching for a card in your deck, or you can discard an Art of War card to draw 2 cards from your deck. And you also need Art of War cards to activate some of the special abilities of your troops. Okay, so that is the game rules in a nutshell. And next we will go over some of the, over the units that you will find in the base box for Mythic Battles Pantheon. Okay, so we will start with the deities. But before we dive into the details, I will explain to you what this is. So this is a stats card that you will get with almost all of the units except for the troops. So the deities have these, monsters have these, and the heroes have these. And this is how you read it. So this is the name of the unit. So in this case, this is Zeus. This is the points cost that I talked about in the previous segment. So Zeus costs 6 points to recruit. This thing tells you how many activation cards will you get. The more activations means the more often that mini will actually get to move or do something on the board. And here on the other side, the little A cards or the Spartan symbols, they indicate how many Art of War cards this unit brings to your deck. Right under the name we have the talents. So most of the gods have 3 different talents. Zeus has Mighty Throw, Leader, and Block. I will talk about these a little bit later. Then we have the main stats. So we have the attack power, defense, this is range, this is movement, so Zeus can move to areas, and these are the special abilities, numbers associated with the special abilities. And this is how much life does he have. As Zeus keeps taking damage during the game, he will slowly degrade. So each time he takes a damage, you will move this tracker thing 1 point down. So he went from 10 life to 9 life, and well, his attack and defense has been unchanged. Did this change? No. Okay, so nothing changed here, but let's say that he was degraded to 5 life, so half of his starting life. Now he just has 7 attacks, 7 defense. Well, range didn't change, but this is probably one of the probably the most important stat is the movement. So he can now move only 1 area, and also the numbers associated with his special abilities have gone down. If he goes down to 2 lives, you see there are no numbers here and no special symbols. This means that he cannot use his special abilities at all. But let's talk about the special abilities actually. So Zeus has 2. One is called Lightning, the other one is called Patriarch. The Lightning basically allows you to throw his lightning up to 3 areas away with a strength of X. So in this case, on 5 life, X is 8. So this means that you will make strength 8 attack against an area. The area thing is important. That means that every single unit in that area will sustain that damage. Or you will do an attack roll against all of the units in that area. And the Patriarch is an ability that basically allows you to manipulate your hand a little bit. If you played Magic the Gathering, you know how important the hand manipulation is or can be. What is the potential? So this is pretty good. It allows you to reduce the the random effect of a shuffle deck and be more strategic. So this is Zeus, and this is his mini. I love minis. Can I get him to focus? Oh. Okay, maybe like this. Okay, so yeah, I really like how this guy came out. One thing that I have to say about the minis in this game is they are beautifully sculpted, and they are not overly filled with unnecessary detail. So as a Warhammer player, I must say it was pleasure to paint these guys, to paint Zeus in particular. If you compare it to some other mini games like the 40k, where every little part of the mini is covered with some kind of detail or something, like I play Death Guard, and the new Death Guard minis, they are beautiful, but they are so unnecessarily filled with tentacles and chains and this and that. I will show you one thing, okay? So the thing that I'm going to show you is not a Warhammer mini. It is produced by a different company, but is apparently meant to be played in Warhammer. Oops. Can we get him in focus? Well, anyway, this guy. It's a beautiful mini, don't get me wrong, but just compare these two. every little area on this mini is covered with something, and it's a pain to paint something like this. As opposed to this one, it was a pleasure. You could really do some blending, do some advanced techniques, and well, overall it's a pleasure to paint these minis. One problem here are the mold lines, which I shortly spoke about. Oh, get him to focus. Maybe. No. So there is a nasty mold line running right here, and perhaps I was a little bit sloppy when I was cleaning up this guy, but it is for some reason difficult to remove these mold lines. There are not many of them, but yeah. Okay, enough about Zeus. Let's talk about Athena. Okay, Athena is the daughter of Zeus. Of course, she is the goddess of wisdom. She's a patron god of Athens. And she's probably my favorite god from this game. Specifically, her strategist ability, which allows you to basically break the rules of the game, where you can at most activate 2 units in your turn. This one allows you to activate 3. And even gives you resources to do that. One thing that I didn't talk about before is these 2 symbols next to the ability symbol are the Art of War card costs. So to play strategist, you need to discard 2 Art of War cards. So Athena is best specifically because of the strategist ability. She also brings in quite a few Art of War cards, 3, that is a good number. She has other ability, which is a ranged attack with her owl, but yeah, that's not like game breaking or anything. She has reasonable talents, so phalanx, and bolster basically buffs your troops in the area where Athena is, and leader is like again ability to buff or activate other units more easily. She isn't particularly good in combat. She has, you know, a little bit less life than Zeus. She has much lower attack values. She also has lower defense. So when you play Athena, you should play some units that can guard her, and then utilize the strategist to use them to their full potential. Yeah, Athena. And, well, I haven't shown her mini. So this is Athena. Again, pleasure to paint. And I also like how these gods are bigger. I usually paint these, well, 30mm heroic scale minis. But the gods, you know, they are 2 times bigger than the other minis. Beautiful. Okay, next god. Who shall we talk about? Aries. Aries, of course, is the god of war. He is the ultimate killer among the gods. He has all the combat related abilities. He doesn't bring any Art of War cards, but he has 5 activation cards. And this is probably the most activations that any unit has. His stats are on par with Zeus, and again his abilities are also combat related. So at the end of his turn you automatically do an area attack against everything in his area, and Frenzy basically allows you to activate him twice in a same turn. You cannot do that with any other unit, or on a unit that doesn't have this Frenzy ability. And this is his mini. Focus, focus. Oh, come on. Beautiful sculpt. Oh yeah, this is how the focus works. Okay. Should have learned that earlier. Okay. And last but not least, of course, in the base box is, well, for the deities is Hades, the lord of the underworld. He again costs 6 points, as all of the other gods. He has 4 activations. He brings a single Art of War card. And he has okay stats compared to the other deities, and well, slightly worse than Zeus or the Aries, of course. Oh, I'm showing you the French side of this card. Sorry. So this is the proper one. Okay, so and he has his abilities are Inferno, which allow you to do range 1 area attack. So again, attacking everyone in the area, but for 2 different areas. It does cost an Art of War card, but does have a range of 1. The X, you know, the black X corresponds to this black 5 here, so you will attack using 5 dice. And then the Soul Cunning, well, this helps to keep him alive and helps replenishing your hand, because whenever any unit is destroyed, you draw a card and Hades regains 1 previously lost vitality. So this is very good ability. It isn't like super strong, but I don't think that there are any other ways to heal your god except for, well, consuming the Umphalos card, which, if you remember, are these little red berries. Yeah. Once you consume an Umphalos, you will get an Umphalos card, and then you can discard it to heal your god by 1 point. Okay, so these were the deities, and we will talk about the heroes next, but I think I will leave that for the next video. Let me know if you like this, and if you want to see the follow-up to this, which will be talking about the heroes, talking about the troops, and then if there is any interest. I will go over the expansions for Mythic Battles and the Pandora's box possibly. Okay, thanks. I was Joseph, and see you next time. Bye bye.